geldiniz. Yerinizi alın.
Nasılsınız?
İyiyiz abi.
Ben de iyiyim. Bugün daha da iyiyim.
Bugün iyi olanın iyi
İnşallah. Bugün inşallah. İnşallah.
Dualarınızda oluruz.
İnşallah. İnşallah.
Attention please, the warming up session will end in 5 minutes.
Hello and welcome back to day 3 of the IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017. It's day 3 and it's game 3. Russia taking on Turkey in what is a replay of the last European Championship final. My name's Alan Martin, alongside me one of our commentators, Peter Selby, and as I was just saying there, Pete, an actual rematch of the final last time out and the first competitive tournament that Russia have taken place in since then.
Yes, Turkey winning 1-0 in that final 2 years ago in Hereford, with the goal in that game. And he's in the starting lineup tonight, and what a mouthwatering game it is. Looking forward to this with the coaches from one side, and both were saying how ironic it is that, especially for Russia, their first game of the tournament is the last major game that they've played in a major tournament. And it's an exciting game, and one that I've been looking forward to since the draw was made a few weeks ago.
Okay, let's take a look at the schedule for both of these teams in these championships. Then Russia taking on Turkey, as you were saying, Pete, their first game back. And Spain, Georgia and Belgium will follow on from that. A comprehensive victory for Turkey, 7-0 in the opening game. Russia, Georgia, and then they finish with Spain. And should Turkey get beat here by Russia, that game, a bit like Group A with Germany versus England, that last game for Turkey could be the decider.
Exactly. Look at the start though for Russia. They've got Turkey first, then Spain. I still think it's between these three for the top 2 places. Russia a start against Turkey and Spain. They couldn't ask for a harder game than those two. But you're right with Turkey finishing off last against Spain. If they do lose today against the Russians, then that could be very decisive indeed. It could go down to the last game in Group B as well as Group A.
Okay, so we have witnessed action from Turkey so far. Are you impressed?
Yeah, very impressed. It didn't take them long at all. The tactics that they empower on the game is a long throw out by the goalkeeper. Normally a goalkeeper will just roll it out to a nearest player who will then build from deep, but not with Turkey. A long throw out to people standing on the edge of the D, if not standing on the edge of the goalkeeping 2 metre square itself. Well, then turn, shoot, back of the net.
Let's see how that works, shall we? We've got some highlights from that first game for Turkey. It was a Belgian team that were quite strongly fancied to maybe cause an upset in this competition, and as you say, didn't take Turkey long at all to get into their stride.
No, there's Kurtiboglu, who scored that first goal, the winner in 2015. He opened the scoring for Turkey at this time around with a low shot, which again I think the goalkeeper might have done better with, although I think he took it quite early and took the keeper by surprise. But the long throws really came in later on, especially when number 11 Satay came off the bench. Again, he's on the bench in the starting lineup tonight. And what he does, he comes on and he stands on the edge of that 2 metre square, edge of the D, and he receives the ball from a long throw out. Very tall goalkeeper indeed, long throw. Of course, he's got to bounce inside his own half at least once, and puts a lot of power on the ball, controlled on the edge of the D, edge of the square, and then you can turn and shoot. There's Satay just squaring the ball over to the right-hand side, so he's already on the field, and they've got plenty of firepower, including the likes of Okul and Koban, and there's Okul scoring the second goal against Belgium.
As you were talking about the keeper's throw out, what we noticed with Turkey as well was a fair element of spin on the ball. So not only does he get thrown out, he then half changes direction a little bit and maybe confuses the defences.
Yeah, it's a tactic that I would have thought more countries would put into play, where why start an attack from deep if you can do a long throw downfield? The thing is, you do need the goalkeeper to possess a long throw, and also you need the players out there who can control the ball and then turn and shoot. And Turkey have not just one or two, but pretty much every single player can do that on the Turkish side.
That goal on the night, we felt that maybe the goalkeeper could have done more, though. He seemed to narrow himself instead of spreading himself. Here's what you're talking about. One Turkish player remaining forward, long throw out, and he did the damage on this occasion.
Exactly, the opposition will know it's coming, but they've got to align themselves so they can basically block off a straight throw down towards the net, and if they do that, then the throw might have to go out wide, and that obviously brings its own problems for the centre forward. He'll have to then dribble inside. This time Satay got the ball level with the goal, and all he had to do is there turn and shoot, get power on the ball, aim high, back of the net.
But the turn though from Satay, turning around to his left and first time strike, sensing where the ball is as he makes that turn, knowing enough to understand where the ball is beneath his feet, to fire it high into the top corner. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and another thing with Turkey is that every single player can do that. It's not just one or two who are good at set plays. Lovely close control here by Satay, and once again firing past the keeper, but it's every single player on their side. When they have a dead ball situation, they don't have one or two who will step forward and take it. It can be every single player, including their captain Uzum, who actually took one or two set plays and scored a couple of goals in that first game. But a very impressive side, and they did well in Rio last year. And I think they're going to go very far this time around, and they'll go close, I think, to defending their title.
Great shot of that goal going in to the bottom left-hand corner, and you can see the Belgian keeper there on the ground. Despair it was. He didn't get much better in the second half.
No, here's the captain scoring from the 8 metre mark and then just switching it to his left foot, and that's what I'm saying with every player can take a set play and strike a goal. There's the captain experience, Uzum, who goes over to celebrate with the players who have not made it onto the field at that time. But their bench is equally as good as their starting lineup.
Just seeing the slow motion replay, and again, keeper unable to get anywhere near that. Now, we did mention that the final in 2015 in Hereford was the last international competitive game that Russia played. The first one back is against exactly the same team. Now, though, do they become an unknown quantity? What does everybody know about them having not competed for 2 years?
I think there might be an unknown quantity in terms of some of the lesser nations, as you would put it, the likes of, say, Georgia later on. They'll be very fancied to score quite a few goals against the Georgians, but teams like Turkey would have played against them. Turkey have a very strong league, got 3 domestic divisions, the most out of any country here in the European Championships, and many of those would include players from Russia. So they will know each other very well. It's when they play the nations who they might play every now and again in a European Championships, that's where there might be an element of surprise. Looking down the team sheet, there doesn't seem to be many new players. It's pretty much the same side and the same squad that were in Hereford 2 years ago.
Halfway through day 3 now, is anybody changing your minds about what's going to happen, or are you still fancying Turkey to be up in there or thereabouts?
I still think the winner will come out of Group B. You've got the likes of Spain, you've got Turkey and Russia. Those 3 I think will be fighting over the top 2 places. I do like the Spanish team this time around, but I think it's between them and Turkey. Obviously, if them 2 go through to the semi-finals, they will be split up and then they can meet again in the final, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is a Spain-Turkey final.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the groups here in these championships. We'll start with Group B. Russia, Turkey coming up. Of course, Belgium, Georgia and Spain versus Russia After that, Belgium and Georgia, the final game of tonight's action. So Spain and Turkey picking up victories, and just one goal between them, having themselves a shootout, the pair of them, at the beginning of this tournament. And Russia, they'll want to be in that mix, and to get an early 3 points in their first game against Turkey would really set that group alight.
I think they will be in the mix. It's obviously quite easy for me to turn around and say I fancy either Spain or Turkey to go through, looking at that table right now. But you throw in Russia to the mix, they've obviously got to play Belgium, they've got to play Georgia as well, and I think they'll score plenty of goals against both of those. But Belgium, don't take anything away from that performance by Turkey, scoring that many goals against the Belgian side, who performed very well on the night. They lost 7-0. But for me, it was the good play from Turkey, really, rather than a poor performance by Belgium.
Okay, so we've played a fair few games in Group A. We're just waiting for the two teams to gather themselves in the tunnel here for tonight's game. Italy's victory against Romania 4-0. France beating Germany 2-1. A little bit earlier on, it was a firecracker of a game. Really was. Penalties and posts were the destruction for Germany in that one. France taking it 2-1. England top the table still, 1 goal difference, and have a game in hand. So the players are then gathering themselves in the tunnel. We say goodbye to Peter Selby because he's going to go and make his way over to the commentary box, and at the moment we can join our commentators whilst we wait for the other team to join us. This is Jonathan Bell, and sauntering across to the commentary box, Peter Selby.
Thank you very much, Alan. Good evening, Alan. Good evening, everybody watching on the live stream. IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017 in Berlin. We're on to the third day and the third game as well, where Russia lock horns with the reigning champions Turkey. We've already mentioned it's a repeat of that 2015 final in Hereford. Two teams that in 2015 went into that final with completely contrasting bits of form. Russia did not concede a goal until the final in 2015. However, they only scored 2 for themselves. Turkey, meanwhile, were rampant. They scored 11, 7 of those being scored by Emre Okul, the number 7 for Turkey, who starts on the substitutes bench today. Turkey conceding just 2 goals in 2015, and it was a clean sheet for them yesterday as well. A clean sweep 2 with a 7-0 win over Belgium. And Turkey and Russia at the moment just assembling themselves in the tunnel, and it looks like it was the Russians who were late. And we did see in the last game the French coach did get a yellow card for his team arriving late into the tunnel. It'll be interesting to find out if it's the same sort of punishment for Russia this time around as well. Their coach Alexander Arastov will certainly be hoping that isn't the case, but very soon indeed the 2 goalkeepers for both sides will be leading out their respective team. Turkey led out by their very tall shot stopper Resat Akion, who is in his bright yellow top, shorts and socks, and the Russian goalkeeper number 12 Kirill Pichin is in the green top, the green shorts and green socks as well. Referee Francois Corriquet will be the one leading out the 2 teams, with Patrick Soponzoglu also up with him as well. As the 2 teams come out, Russia of course kicking off their Blind Football European Championship campaign here in this match. Turkey have been on this pitch already. They were here last night when they trounced Belgium by 7-0. Of course they missed a penalty in that game as well. Goals from Iderson, who got 2, the number 2. Kerpatoglu got 1, as did Okul. Uzum, the captain, got on the score sheet. And Sate, the number 11, a very tricky winger indeed, managed to get a brace as well. So Russia know exactly what they're facing here. Russia in white shirts, white shorts and white socks. Turkey in all red. But first, the 2 sets of teams line up either side of the halfway line for the national anthems. So both sets of teams very much sounding as if they're ready. They look it as well. Turkey leading the line and shaking the hands of the officials, and the Russian team as well. Let's see how the two teams line up then. We'll start off with Russia with Kirill Pechin in goal. Andrei Tikhonov is the number 3 at the back alongside captain Alexei Lokaninov. Number 7, Denis Ogorov. He was the only player to score for Russia in 2015. He got both of their goals in those championships. Eventually, Ivanov leads the line for the team managed by Alexander Erestov and Alexander Makov as well. They take on a Turkish team who they know all too well from 2 years ago in Hereford, and this is how they shape up. Just the one change from last night's game against Belgium. Akion once again starting in goal. Idezin, who got 2 goals last night, also lines up alongside Kerpatoglu, who got himself on the score sheet. So did Uzum, the captain, and Salel Koban also keeps his starting jersey as well. So the two teams just deciding as to who will be kicking off first. The teams will be swapping over their sides. The referee, Francois Kolka, just signalling that to both teams at the moment. The Russians just to the right of the centre circle are in a 5-man huddle at the moment. Also joining them is their trainer and guide as well, Vitaly Budakin, who will be stood behind the goal for this contest, making sure that the Russian attackers are aware of exactly where the goalposts are. And Turkey taking place on the left-hand side of halfway in their all-red strip will have their guide Hasan Yildirim behind the goal. Of course, Turkey managed by John Ball, and he certainly knows what is necessary, Pete, in order to win a championships like this.
Yes, it's nice to be bringing you this fantastic Group B clash, and good afternoon to everyone out there, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to sunny Berlin for day 3 of the IBSA Blind Football European Championships, and what a game we have. It's a rematch, as Jonathan's been saying, between the finalists in the 2015 European Championships. In that final, Turkey were victorious by 1-0. Kerpatoglu, the scorer of that goal, and he will be starting for Turkey. All in red, shooting from left to right. Russia all in white, shooting from right to left. Referees going over and shaking hands with the managers and also the coaches. And again, as I mentioned before, our previous game, something I quite like to see in other sports. So it seems that we're all set and ready, and the winners of this game will surely have one foot in the semi-finals, especially if that's Turkey, with already that convincing win earlier on in this tournament against Belgium. It's going to be Turkey to get us underway. Number 10, Koban, will take the ball over to the near right-hand side. Our commentary position is just below the main camera that you're viewing if you're watching the live stream. Russia down the far side, just gets stopped on halfway. Here goes Kurtoglu, who scored that winner in the final in Hereford 2 years ago, wrestling with 4 outfield players of Russia. And he's still got the ball, the big, powerful number 4. Now back to Koban nearer the halfway line than the broken line. So Koban goes back. All men back for Russia. Scooped ball forward towards the edge of the D. Tries to find number 4, Kurtoglu, who's got a good chance here for a strike on goal. And he just has an air shot. A real good chance there for Turkey. And they've still got possession back inside their own half through Koban. And only Koban and the big number 4, Kurtoglu, who are currently playing at the moment. Ball runs out for a Russian restart. First chance for Russia. Down the right they go. Igorov, number 7, just past 1. Now comes inside from the right-hand side. Central position, 10 yards out. Just overruns the ball, goes back to try and pick it up. And it's cleared by Turkey. Down the left-hand side. And Kurtoglu once again trying to pick it up, and it just runs out of play. And it will be another restart for the all-in-green Ikarlev. The goalkeeper for Russia rolls it out, misses its intended target, but could find Igorov. But no, coming back is Koban once again to mop up for the all-in-red Turkish team. Brings it himself into the centre circle, now towards the right, stops, dragged back, now goes again down the right, again stops, dragged back in the centre circle. Drifts over to the left, just slightly overruns the ball, goes back and picks it up again inside the centre circle. And a left-footed ball down the left to try and find his teammates is not successful. Here comes the number 7, Igorov. Goes past every single player apart from that last man, Uzum, the captain, who starts another run over the halfway. Slips, gets to his feet very well there, did Uzum. Slipped over and still has the ball. He's outside the broken line. Again, slightly overruns it. And a little bit of to and fro in at the moment. Here comes Kurtoglu, and once again, close control is poor just as he gets towards the D. And it can be the all-in-white Russians who play it skillfully back to the keeper. And now launch another attack down that right-hand side.
And here is Igorov, loses possession on halfway as it goes back into the Turkish half. John Ball, Turkish coach there, just saying calm it down. Aydınez chipping it down the left-hand side, and Kurtoglu, who's trying to worm his way into the penalty area, manages to get a corner off of Loktinov, the Russian captain. And Turkey will have the first set piece of the match on their left-hand side. Standing over the ball, here's the combination of Karaman, Kurtoglu, the number 4, and alongside him, Recep Aydınez as well. Those two on the score sheet in the last game. And they'll be looking to create a goal-scoring opportunity here as well. A premature run from a Russian defender before it was taken there almost made the referee have to stop and restart that corner. It does go ahead though, and there's a scramble on the left corner of the goal area, a couple of yards away from the net. Managing to get his hands on it though in the end is the goalkeeper for Russia, Pichinin, who throws it out towards the right-hand side. Lovely turn from Loktinov. Good close control from him, the only player for Russia to score in 2015. Remarkably, only getting 2 goals in those championships, but it was enough to take them to the final. Here's Turkey. Kurtoglu, dead central, coming out towards the right-hand side. A good tackle coming in from Ivanov of Russia, but Kurtoglu tenacious and managing to continue his run as well. Eventually is felled by the challenge of Igorov. Kurtoglu, though, miraculously, he's taking on the whole Russian team at the moment. He's still going for the ball on their left-hand side. It'll be Igorov to turn away and play it back towards his goalkeeper, Pichinin. Clever play from the Russians, just keeping things calm at the back. Very well communicated indeed, and they cleared their lines. But Turkey at the moment definitely maximising the possibility that Russia are a bit rusty. Of course, they've not played a competitive game for 2 years now. And Turkey fresh from the game last night. 0-0 though is the score so far, with Russia breaking down the right-hand side and Denis Igorov holding it up in the corner. In his back is Aydınez, the number 2 for Turkey, who concedes the corner in the end. Good work in that corner from Denis Igorov, who was the only Russian outlet there in the final third, and he gets himself a corner.
Yeah, he's the main outlet for Russia at the moment, down that right-hand side, wearing 7. Looks like he's got a lot of skills, a lot of close control, and he can also beat a man with a bit of pace as well. Yet to see a strike on goal from the number 7, but I don't think it's going to be very long until he makes an effort on goal. The goalkeeper for Turkey cracking down low, one of the tallest goalkeepers in the game. Lovely back heel to find Igorov. Igorov running into a red wall, gets it back by that right corner. Now he's by the kickboard, tries a back heel across the area. The only person forward is Ivanov. Ivanov can't pick this up because it's picked up by number 10 Koban over the halfway line for Turkey. Hits the left-hand kickboard, still going the small number 10. Just loses control on the edge of the D once again. Kerpatoglu picks it up and can shoot from the edge of the D and just taps it with his left foot, so his swing with his right doesn't make connection. It's still inside the D. Koban can't get another shot on goal, and it's back to the halfway line. And Adenis, number 2, he's one of 2 men back for Turkey, and he's won a foul. It was an attempted tackle by Tikhanov, number 3 for Russia, and it's going to be a free kick to Turkey just inside their own territory by a matter of 2 or 3 yards. But a real chance there for Kerpatoglu, and you can see here, just moves the ball out of his feet, taps it with his left, and that's why he missed with his right, falls to the ground. A real opportunity there for the big number 4, who possesses a really powerful shot, and Russia will know all about that after scoring the winner 2 years ago.
Play restarting then as the ball is switched from right to left, and trying to get onto the loose ball is Kerpatoglu, who's got it right on the byline. The last touch came off the retreating Agorov, and it will go out for another Turkey corner on the left-hand side. They're getting a lot of territorial advantage at the moment, the Turks. And can they break the deadlock here inside the early stages of this contest? Still 0-0. And a corner on the left-hand side, which will be taken by Kerpatoglu, who spins nicely with the ball on the left-hand side. Again, it's a swarm of white shirts around him. He goes for a shot from a really tight angle with the left foot, and it nestles into the side netting. And Pichikin will have the ball in hand, the number 12, and bowl it out towards the right-hand side. Goes over halfway, midway inside the Turkish half. Turkey struggling to deal with it in their left-back position, which means Agorov can pick up possession. Laterally running from the right-hand side all the way to the left, but he's tracked all the way by Kalal Koban, the number 10. He did have possession momentarily midway inside his own half on the right-hand side, but across came Avanchi Ivanov, and he is now the man with the ball, with the green boots, striding towards the edge of the penalty area. A nasty collision in the end with the number 8, Ibrahim Uzum, the captain, but the foul was actually conceded, I think, by the retreating Recep Aydınez. He was tripped initially, was Ivanov, then fell as he was going down into the oncoming captain for Turkey. Nasty collision, first free kick for Russia.
Yes, it was. It was a trip by the number 2, who then fell into Uzum, and it was the foul by Aydınez, correctly described by Jonathan next to me in the commentary position, bathed in sunshine. And a first real chance here for Russia after 5.5 minutes of this Group A clash between 2 very powerful nations in European blind football. It's from a very central position, slightly to the left of centre, just inside the broken line. Standing over the ball is number 3, Tikhanov, and also number 7, Igorov. Looks like it's going to be Igorov to possibly strike from distance, or probably move it a bit closer to the right-hand side. Here he goes. He does move it to the right. Shoots from distance into the back of the net. It's low. Beats the goalkeeper into the left-hand corner. And Russia, who have been under pressure for the first 5 minutes, open the scoring in this game. Russia 1, Turkey 0.
Well, I said Russia may be a bit rusty. That is certainly not the case. A really nice layoff that from Andrei Tikhanov, just to his right-hand side. Denis Agorov, their star man, took it into his stride, shifted it onto the right foot, and nestled the ball into the bottom right-hand corner of Resot Akion's net. Russia off the mark in these championships. 6 minutes into their first game. Russia 1, Turkey 0. This going completely against the 2015 final, Pete.
What a goal by Igorov. Low right-footed, drilled past the tall goalkeeper I mentioned. Akayon for Turkey, very tall individual, but this was low, crisply hit, and the giant keeper couldn't get down low and palm the ball away. Shot on goal was wide by Kerpatoglu at the other end, nowhere near the net, nearer to the corner than the goal. Quick bowl out by Ikolov, the goalkeeper for Russia, a bit too quickly, and it goes down the right-hand kickboard, out for a throw, out for a goalkeeping restart. But a long throw by Turkey, straight downfield, just bounces inside his own half. Once again, Turkey employing the tactic of having plenty of men inside the D, trying to pick up that long throw. That means that the game can get very stretched. And trying to pick it up is the goal scorer down the right-hand side, and that's Igorov. Has it inside the final third. Right-hand side, drifts into the centre. Now back to the broken line, still has possession inside the centre circle. Igorov just running over the ball, and Koban tries to get a foot in for Turkey. He's successful in pushing the ball into the Russian half, but here goes Igorov once again. Central position inside the centre circle, drifts over to the right, 3 men in between him and the goal. He's got options to his left. He finds Ivanov. Ivanov controls the ball across the broken line, central position, just gets it again, edge of the D, chance for a left-footed shot, sticks out his right and doesn't make contact. Long throw, although a substitution will take place, so the goalkeeper will have a second opportunity to restart the game, and it's a substitution for Turkey. Coming off is Kerpatoglu, number 4, and he's going to be replaced by number 7 of Turkey, and that's Emre Okal.
Well, of course, when you're 1-0 down, they say desperate times call for desperate measures. I wouldn't say this is complete desperation from Turkey at very early stages of the game, but Okal, the number 7, and 7 goals to his name in 2015, their star attacking outlet. He also got a goal last night as well against Belgium, and he's now on to create some danger and terrorise the Russian defenders. So Turkey have the ball. They give it away though as they put it into the top left corner of the pitch, and retreating is the goal scorer Denis Agorov, who charges all the way towards halfway with the ball. A really good run from him, tackled by Aidenez just left of centre, but Agorov, as the ball comes towards the near side, the left now on halfway, is not giving that one up. Ivanov takes over, and Russia have the ball back with their feet. They play it towards the right hand side, midway inside the Turkish half, and it'll be a first touch now for Emre Okal, who just has the ball next to his feet, stops it with his studs, and on the left corner of the D, charges forward now, over halfway. It's a really strong run from the number 7, Emre Okal, gets towards the left corner. Will he run out of room? Yes, he will. He slides to try and keep the ball in play, but it goes out for a goalie ball. 2 balls on the pitch momentarily, so the referee just calls a quick timeout so that one is cleared off the field of play, and it will be Russia's number 12, Kirill Pichikin, in goal, who will restart play right from the net.
Yeah, restart for the German goalkeeper. The Russian keeper will now throw out down the left-hand side, and he finds a red shirt of Turkey. Comes back to the halfway line. Good stop by Koban, sent his opponent the wrong way. Squares it over to number 7, Emre Okal, the substitute. Has to go back to the centre line to recover possession. Only 1 man forward so far for Turkey, so Emre Okal will have to go himself, and he's been brought down in a dangerous position just inside the broken line. Good slalom run there, going one way then another in a snake-like fashion, but he was brought down before he could get anywhere near the D. Still in a very dangerous position for Turkey, and they've got plenty of power and players who can strike a ball from a set piece. This one's quite far out, just a yard outside the broken line. It's going to be a substitution in the very near future. The referees just organised themselves on the far side. I think this free kick might take place first of all. Over to the right hand side is Koban. You can see on the right of your screen there, to the right of the Russian D, there's 3 Russian players in a wall, 1 just to the right. 2 men standing over the ball, including Okal, who won the free kick. Rolled forward. Here goes Okal to the left-hand side. Chance for a shot on goal. Doesn't pull the trigger, and it goes out for a goalkeeping restart. Quick throw down the right by the Russian keeper. Stopped once again by Igorov. This time he's in the centre circle rather than going down the right-hand kickboard. Back inside his own half, facing his own goal. So he's going to start a run from deep. Here he goes. Past one. Past another with pace down the right-hand side. Tries to drift inside, but good tackle by Koban, who trapped him well, but concedes a corner for Turkey.
I think Koban thought that might be going out for a goal kick there. Didn't get the right call from his goalkeeper, and in the end it rolls out for that corner ball that Russia will take very soon indeed. But first they're going to make a change with their number 9, Evgeny Ivanov, being replaced by Evgeny Shalaviv. So that will be a corner being taken in the far corner. There are 3 white shirts up for Russia, so a bit of an attacking threat here. Andrei Tikhonov standing in front of Denis Agorov. So it will be Tikhonov to carry the ball round in a wide arc on the right-hand side. He has it now with the red boots, and the yellow tick. Goes back on the outside to the right and looks for Agorov on the right channel. The ball squirms off him last though. He can't control and it goes out for a Turkish ball. Rezat Akion immediately throwing it down the other end of the field. Emrah Okul trying to control it. Bursts down the left-hand side, but the referee not happy with what was going off there, and it will be a free kick for Turkey, and this, Pete, could be a third Russian team foul, and we've only played 9 minutes.
Yes, appears that no void called there by the defender.
But no team foul, so Russia getting away with one there, just a personal foul for the Russians. Turkey have a free kick on the left-hand side, just inside of the left-hand kickboard, midway before the broken line and the byline. This, standing over the ball very menacingly indeed, is Emrah Okul, the substitute. He's got his right hand on his hip, and he's just waiting with those lime green boots to be able to take this ball forward and strike one towards Kirill Pichinin's goal. Waiting for the referee's whistle. The guide behind the goal for Turkey, Hasan Yildirim, is just tapping the post, using that wedding ring once again, putting it to very good use indeed. And a delay and a yellow card for the goalkeeper. The rule in blind football is when the guide behind the goal is tapping the post, the goalkeeper is not allowed to communicate at all with his defenders. He did Kirill Pichinin, after the guide had tapped the crossbar and post, and therefore the referee's intervened and given a yellow card for the Russian goalkeeper. So he's certainly on his last warning there. And a Turkish free kick on the left-hand side once again. Emrah Okul, if he wasn't eager before to take this, he certainly will be now after the delay in play. So, second time round, the posts have been tapped, the referee is ready to blow his whistle, and Emrah Okul steps forward, right-footed, left corner of the knee, shoots, and he just drifts it wide of the goalkeeper's left-hand post. A really good effort from Emrah Okul, drifted in from the left wing as we suspected, cutting inside, opening his body up towards the far corner, but missing.
Yeah, long throw down the left-hand side, just runs out of play. Couldn't be kept in by the substitutes. Shilav, who's one of the top players for Russia. He's got long hair, the number 8, tied back behind his blindfold. Here goes once again down the left-hand side. And number 7, Okul, runs out of real estate, and it goes out for another restart for Russia. Throw down the left-hand side. Shilav comes inside in the centre circle. Stops in front of the Turkish midfield. Now goes again. Again, good ball skills, close control. Just trips over the ball as he gets to the broken line. Still has possession inside the final third by the right-hand kickboard. And now the all-red strip of Turkey. Fly forward, and again, it's down the left-hand side. And Okul, this time inside the D, chance for a shot, but the defender just gets back and gets his legs in the way. It's locked in off the tall number 4. And still wrestling for the ball. It's Russia down the left-hand side. Shaliev over halfway, approaching again the final third. He's got his back to goal though. He's got help on the far right hand side if he needs it. He squares it over to find the goal scorer Igorov. Igorov tries to go past his man. He does so. 2 men left to beat. Beats the first one. He's at an acute angle. Comes in the centre. Left-footed shot into the back of the net. What a goal by Igorov. That's his second, and the second for Russia. He had 3 men to go past. He was tight on the right-hand kickboard. He went past one with a bit of strength. He went past the second with a bit of skill. Pace took him past the third, and then his left-footed shot beat the keeper. Russia are leading by 2-0.
Wonderful goal once again from Denis Agorov, who already matches his tally from Euro 2015. A lovely bit of dazzling footwork on the right-hand side, keeping the ball so close to his feet, making sure that he does not lose track of it at all. As he comes into the right-hand side of the area, cutting beautifully with the left-footed shot into the far corner of the net. And Russia are 2-0 up here against Turkey. So the reigning champions have a lot of work to do here in order to swing the pendulum back in their favour, and a lot of pressure on Emrah Okul since he's come on to make something happen for Turkey. He's the one passing it now to number 10, Selal Koban, who has it on the left-hand side alongside Okul. Those two running into each other momentarily, and on the scene as well is Andrei Tikhonov of Russia. The ball's still not completely cleared by the Russians, but Tikhonov now will really do well to control it midway inside his own half, turn away from the chomping tackle of Okul and come up now towards the halfway line. He's got the Turkish defence on a string here at the moment as Tikhonov just worming his way from right to left. He's still got the ball inside the Turkish half now. I'm sure he's getting a bit dizzy after all that running around and spinning as well, but eventually he loses the ball, and no doubt that will have given the Russian defence a bit of respite. Turkey back with the possession then, down the left-hand side for Emre Okul, coming inside of one challenge, a flailing arm into the face as well for his troubles there for Emre Okul. Goes back infield, out towards the left now, left corner of the D he gets to, just stamps on the ball a little bit and it went behind him and ruined progress, but still he keeps the ball close to his feet, trying to replicate Agorov's goal a few moments ago, but this time from the left-hand side. Okul once again losing control of the ball, getting stuck underneath his feet, and a lot of good jockeying from the Russian defenders, in particular number 3 Andrei Tikhonov. The ball then goes down the right hand side, goes too far out. Russia call a timeout. 2-0 Russia, good start for them.
Yeah, cracking start by Russia, all in whites. 2 goals for number 7 Denis Igorov, and the second, what a goal, slalom run past 3 defenders and the low finish past the keeper. A timeout called by Russia, and the players have been given a bit of a stern talking to there on the Russian bench. Even though they are 2 goals to the 4, it's a bit different on the other side in the all-in-red Turkish team. There's a lot of soul-searching going on, but a bit quieter than what's happening on the Russian bench. Maybe they think that they should be more than the 2 goals up, but they have to be delighted with this start.
Absolutely. I think our cameraman down there next to the Russian bench might have to tap the coach on the shoulder and just remind him what the score is, because Russia have done very well so far. They've not had too many chances in front of goal, but the ones they've had through Denis Igorov, they have taken to a plumb, and they have defended manfully at the back, making sure they're guarding their area, and of course their goalkeeper Kirill pitching in as well. But so far, number 3 for Russia, Andrei Tikhonov, what a great defensive performance from him so far. He is denying Emre Okul, the number 7 for Turkey. And I'd also be interested to see, Pete, Okul playing alongside Kurpatoglu. They are the 2 main threats, but they're only being played one after the other at the moment.
Yes, I don't think it's going to be very long until they both are on the field of play at the same time. Many people watching on from the stands. I can see the back of everyone's jackets. I can see Turkish, German, also the French, English. They're all watching on, and this is the first time that Russia have played a match in this IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017 version here in Berlin. Last time they were in a European Championships finals match, they were in the final against the Turkish opponents. So it's every person's first view of this Russian side, and they'll be very impressed with what they've seen inside this first 11 minutes and 20 seconds now. If you've been impressed, then why not get in contact with us here via social media at Euro 2017 Berlin is the Twitter handle. Use the hashtag #TheSoundOfFootball. Hashtag #TheSoundOfFootball. Send us a question. Where are you watching this live stream from? Who are you cheering on? And if you've got any questions regarding the sport of blind football, then please send them to us. Again, use that hashtag #TheSoundOfFootball.
Double substitution for Turkey, going off number 10 Selo Koban and number 7 Emre Okul, replaced by number 9 Ercan Bayraktar and number 11 Hasan Satay as well. Hasan Satay got 2 goals last night against Belgium, a very impressive player indeed. So a trio of really talented forwards that Turkey have in their roster. However, they're only playing one at a time at the moment. Conservative approach to this game from John Ball, and so far it is not working. Goalkeeper's ball down at the Turkish end with Reza Akian in that all bright yellow strip, throwing the ball down towards the left-hand side. A first chance here indeed for Satay. Gets down the left-hand side of the area, failed to keep the ball under control, however, but that is a bright spark for Turkey. A rare one, it has to be said. 12 minutes gone here, and it is the Turks, the reigning champions, trailing by 2 goals to 0. Satay down the right-hand side, inside right channel, retreating is Avijay Shalayev, who with that mop of hair down to his shoulders managed to get the ball back towards halfway, both pressing each other towards the kickboard at the moment. Satay coming out on top, trying to make his way from right to left. However, the ball gets caught under his feet, which has been quite a common occurrence so far for the Turkish team. No foul in the centre as Russia lost the ball then, and Turkey with a lot of time in their defensive zone. Russia sitting deep inside their own half, waiting for Turkey to come at them. They do try and play a ball down that left-hand side. It's going to go all the way out for a goalkeeper's ball, and another minute goes by where Russia keep Turkey at bay.
Yes, 12.5 minutes gone inside this first half. So 7.5 minutes remaining until half-time. Shalev with the ball from left to right, only finds the feet of a Turkish midfielder, goes back inside their own third. Switch play from the right to left for Turkey, and going to ground in an unceremonious circumstance is Hasan Satay. Nothing given. Here comes the dangerous number 7, Igorov. 2 goals for him so far today. From the right to the left, he's still inside Turkish territory, loses possession, and it's back with the Turkish goalkeeper. Side-footed ball down the left to find Satay. Doesn't control it the first time of asking, but gets a second opportunity because it bounces off the legs of the defender. He's being forced back physically to halfway. Now goes himself down that left-hand side. He's past the broken line. It's more bulldozer in than any skill. Satay now in a central position. Drifts onto his left foot. Chance for a shot. Doesn't get the shot off because 2 Russian defenders come across and try and clear their lines. They do, off the Turkish legs. And that will be a Russian goalkeeping restart. There's the trip on Satay. It's just a tangle of legs. So nothing given there by the officials. An accidental collision between the 2. Long throw out down the left-hand side. And Shalev is in a bit of a sandwich, and the official has given the free kick in the direction for Turkey. So even though it looked like he was in a bit of a sandwich, it was Shalayev who's given away the penalty. Is it going to be a free kick to Turkey? No, Voy was the reason. That's the 3rd foul for Russia. So third team foul for Russia, and like I said, no Voy called, even though he was sandwiched between the 2 midfielders of Turkey. Free kick is poor, though. Goes up to the left-hand side. It goes beyond Igorov to the feet of Satay, who's going to wrestle for this on the edge of the D. Well brought out by Igorov, and he can bring the ball out of defence and launch a counter-attack all by himself. He's up to halfway, right in front of the officials on the far side. Well won back, though, by Kobam. Now Satay, left-hand side of the D, and it comes off his right ankle and goes out of play for a goal kick, and he's just doing his laces up. I thought for a minute he was just holding his right ankle there. Hasan Satay, who scored those 2 wonderful goals in their first game when they demolished the Belgian side by 7-0. Down the left-hand side, Shalayev, a shoulder barge on the number 8 for Turkey. And that was number 8, Uzum, the captain. And Shalayev, well, he's just given away a foul for Voy, and he's given away another foul here for that shoulder barge, and I think he's quite fortunate actually not to get booked himself. That's the 14th foul, and with over 5 minutes remaining, that could come into play. You remember, any more than 5, they'll be resulting in 8-metre penalty kicks, so they've got 1 more before any more resulting in those kicks.
Well, Pete, we're here to analyse, we're here to commentate, but I'm struggling to analyse this Russian performance at the moment because they're soaking up a lot of pressure, and I can't work out whether this is deliberate, they're camping inside their own half and they're wanting Turkey to come at them, or they're a bit rattled themselves a little bit. That foul there was very much a tough blow for the Turkish defender to take. He's OK to continue, but Turkey have had a lot of the ball so far. However, they're not managing to trouble the goalkeeper, and that is down to good defending from the Russians. Once again, that being the case there, as Pichinin manages to clear the ball away down the Russian left flank. But again, the Russians happy in their white strip to just stay inside their own half and wait for Turkey to come at them again. And Turkey have only got 1 man in the opposing half at the moment. You can make that 3 now, as Uzum tries to find Satay down the left side of the penalty area. Intercepting that was Tikhonov, who has been very impressive so far at the back. And now another lock of horns happening on halfway. The ball then goes back inside the Russian half, midway inside their own half. Tikhonov trying to walk the ball out. However, it squirms off his right foot and goes to the left-hand side. And Satay, well, he's certainly licking his lips with this opportunity down the left-hand side. He tries to wriggle away from Tikhonov, and the latter, the Russian defender, coming out on top once again. He loses track of the ball. He was running faster than the ball then. He's now midway inside his own half. He's got behind him Aideners trying to battle away with it. And it's becoming a bit messy, this game now, and I think this suits the Russians, Pete.
Yes, it does. If it gets quite open, we know the long throws that the goalkeeper for Turkey possesses. It's down by the left corner in an attacking move for Turkey at the moment. Satay now has possession of the ball by that left-hand kickball, drifts inside on his left foot, cuts back onto his right. Now he's right again, shoots, hits the post, hits the other post and stays out of the goal. A shot with his right foot hits the right post, rolls along the goal line, hits the left-hand upright and stays out. No goal was the call. Francois Coquelin was standing on the goal line, the French official, and he had the best view in the house. Remarkable action here in Berlin. Satay did ever so well to fashion the chance, took a deflection off number 4 in the Russian defence, long enough, and it hits both posts and stays out. Lokinov was very lucky there. That deflection has possibly saved his team from conceding, and the goalkeeper will restart for Russia, but well, how many times has that happened? Hitting one post, rolling along the goal line, hitting the other, and then staying out. Very unlucky for Turkey. And again, that deflection, possibly just taking it away from the goalkeeper's reach, but of course taking it into that inside upright. And we can see on the Russian bench, looks like there's a little bit of activity. There's going to be a substitution. The officials on the far side are just sorting amongst themselves. What's the situation? So coming off will be number 8. That's Shalev. And Shalev goes off the field, who gave away 2 fouls in quick succession. And coming onto the field will be Ivanov, number 9.
Yeah,
so
that was the, sorry Pete, that was the exact same change that was made reciprocally around 5-10 minutes ago. And an arm around the shoulder from the Russian coach on the far side for Evgeny Shalev on the far side. He'll be eager to come back on very soon, that is for sure. But Russia now finally getting the game back underway again. Ticking off, playing the ball over halfway. A whistle has blown. I think that's because of a call from the guide behind the goal at the other end of the field. It's an indirect free kick. The left arm is raised by the referee, and Turkey will start from the right corner of the centre circle. And the referee's just jogging over to the Russian guard behind the goal and saying, look, you've done it twice now, you're going to get a yellow card. Well, the referee, he's certainly not afraid to book and discipline those who infringe with the rules.
Not at all. So the yellow card is going to be signalled to the officials' bench. And it's going to be a free kick to Turkey inside the centre circle. It's inside the Russian half. So a chance here for Turkey to launch a counter-attack. Bayraktar passing over to the far left-hand side, and Satay, who can't pick that up, but he's going to win a corner because the defender came across and turned it behind. And that defender was Igorov, who's doing his defensive duty as well as up the other end of the field with those 2 cracking goals for Russia, especially that second. What a run, a mazy dribble after showing his strength by the right-hand kickboard and then beating the keeper with ease. So a corner to Turkey on the left-hand side. All 4 players for Turkey are forward for this. Satay takes it from the left-hand side, drifts to the centre, chance for a right-footed shot. Is it going to be a left? Is it going to be a right? He's edge of the D. It's going to be a left-footed shot, but he scuffs it, and it nearly gets turned into his own net by a defender. Goalkeeper dives on the ball, and a long throw out down the right-hand side to that man Igorov. Over the halfway line, across comes the Turkish defence, but Igorov still has the ball inside the broken line by that right-hand kickboard. We know what strength he possesses. He goes back towards the broken line. Now he's nearer the halfway line. Switches play to the left-hand side for Ivanov. Ivanov newly on the field. Drifts in, now stops again from the left-hand side, drifts into the centre, edge of the D, right-footed shot goes wide. He was off balance when he took it, he went wide of the right-hand post, but good play there by Russia. Long throw downfield for Turkey. Ayakon tries to pick out Satay. There's that tactic that was used so well against Belgium, but this time Satay couldn't control the ball, and Russia launched a counter-attack through the 2-goal man Igorov. Down the right-hand side, he's tackled, and now Turkey come once again over the halfway line, right-hand side. Towards the centre, is stopped, and that's number 2, Adanes, and the goalkeeper just has to kick it anywhere. He can't pick that ball up because it came back from a defender. He was informed, the defender, just pass it back and I'll clear the lines for you. Communication is vital between the defence and the goalkeeper. They're more than just a man stopping the ball between the sticks. Mazy dribble here by number 9, Bayraktar, and gets to the edge of the D, runs into a 3-man wall for Russia. His fellow number 9 leads a 1-man attack for the all-white strip of Russia. Ivanov, left-hand side, just inside Turkish territory, now falls back inside his own half. Everyone's back for Russia at the moment, but they're just trying to pick the ball up. Lovely little back drag by number 3, Tikhanov. And Jonathan's mentioned his skills already. Satai, though, picks it up inside that final third. Can't get a clear shot on goal, but he's going to have a second opportunity from the corner from the left.
Yeah, it's amazing how all 4 of the Russians managed to swarm around the ball whenever Turkey have it in the offensive third. That's the case again there. And once again, it concedes a corner, which Turkey will take on the left-hand side. And stood over the ball is Hasan Satai, with just around him as well as number 2, Recep Aydeniz. So with that combination taking the corner very soon indeed. A substitution though for Turkey beforehand, and in fact Satai is going to be sacrificed, and coming on instead is Emre Aslan. And Emre Aslan, a player I'd not heard of before the game last night against Belgium, but he impressed me very much. The man with the black trainers going around very, well, he's a strong tackler in the midfield, but when he's got the ball he manages to be skillful as well. A timeout was being called out meanwhile, I think by the Turks. So a timeout from Turkey, and a chance for them to take on some water. Some very hot conditions out here, that is for sure. 90 seconds to go until half-time. Can they get a goal back in half the arrears before the half is out?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the coach for Turkey, John Ball, will be informing his players, look, you've got a corner, let's make the most of it in the remaining minute and a half of this first half. You're 2 goals down. If we get 1 back, then we can really kickstart our challenge in this second half. But 2 goals down, a very impressive performance by Denis Igorov with those 2 goals for Russia. Remember, this is their first appearance in this IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017 in Berlin. They've waited quite a while. It's the second appearance for Turkey. Already got 7 on the board against Belgium, and it looks like they've been using that time on the sidelines to full effect. Get in contact with us here on the live stream. We're bathed in sunshine here in Berlin. Hopefully the weather's nice where you are watching this from. At Euro 2017 Berlin is the Twitter handle, and you can send us a question about today's games. Tell us where you're watching it from, tell us who you're supporting, and ask us any questions regarding the sport of blind football. Use that hashtag, #TheSoundOfFootball, and then ask us a question, and our social media team will get on it straight away, and I'll take a look at that hashtag at half time and see if we can answer any questions. We might even read out a few on air, you never know. So corner to Turkey from the left hand side. Satay just stumbles over the ball, driven back to the broken line, and number 9 Bayraktar goes himself, shot with his right foot, goes wide by a yard of the right hand post. No danger for the Russian keeper, who takes a little bit of time just rolling it to his left hand side. Ball's in play, so the time will again get underway on the clock, and it reads just over a minute to go. But it's Turkey with possession, 2 on 3 at the moment. Mazy dribble by that man Satay over to the right hand side, picked up by Turkey once again. Nice close dribbling skills on Yazidi by Aslan. Aslan once again goes down the right hand side, right footed shot across goal, well saved by the goalkeeper, read it well. I think it was going to drift wide of that left hand post, but the goalkeeper just smothered the ball and rolls it down the left-hand side once again for Russia.
Into the final 60 seconds of this first half then. Turkey deserve a goal if they do get one before this half is out, but if they fail to hit the target, it is purely down to the strong Russian backline, who have always managed to swarm the ball whenever the Turks have got it. And Turkey only seem to have 1 flair player on the pitch at a time, and they have got a lot within their ranks. However, they are not risking to play them all at once and leave them short at the bat, but there will be a time where they have to throw the kitchen sink at this game and go all out for goals back. So one last opportunity for them just before the half is out. It's another corner in the left-hand side. Number 2, Recep Aydeniz, is becoming very familiar with that spot on the pitch. He lays the ball off for Erkan Bayraktar, who's going to try and shoot from a central position on the edge of the D. The ball breaks back for the captain, Uzum, running down the right-hand side. He runs into the challenge of Evgeny Ivanov, who now holds possession, the grey-haired, short Russian forward, who clips the ball out towards the right-hand side and the 2-goal man, Denis Egorov, whose brace looks as if it will separate the two sides going into the conclusion of this first period. Not long to go until the half-time whistle sounds here in Berlin. One last opportunity forward for Turkey. It comes to nothing, and Russia will very much be happy with that first period of 20 minutes. They lead by 2 goals to 0, 2 super goals from Denis Egorov, one with a right foot from a free kick in a central position. He shifted it onto his right foot and buried it into the far corner beautifully. The second goal, he close control, right hand side of the area, got inside of 2 red shirts before arcing one into the far corner of the net. Denis Egorov equalling his tally from Euro 2015 in Hereford already, and actually equaling Russia's tally from Euro 2015. They may have got to the final a couple of years ago and faced Turkey in that final, Russia. However, they only scored 2 goals during that whole competition. Turkey, meanwhile, they got 11 goals in 2015. They're struggling to add to the 7 they got last night so far. At the break, they trailed to Russia by 2 goals to 0. And I'll now pass over to Alan March, who is joined by Peter Selby.
Well, the other night, Peter Selby said that a team would score more than 10, and they didn't. He also told me he hadn't changed his opinion that Turkey would win this competition. They're 2-0 down at half-time.
I know, and they're 2-0 down because of one player in particular, Denis Egorov, with those 2 stunning goals. The second one has to be right up there with goal of the tournament so far. I think Turkey have had the majority of play and the better chances. It's just that Russia have taken theirs when they've had the chances, and they've taken the 2, and they're leading by 2 goals, and they deserve it. But I still think Turkey are really in this game.
Okay, so trailing are the reigning European champions. We'll take a look at the goals in just a couple of seconds' time. As you say, Egorov, that's a drilled effort low and down to the goalkeeper's right-hand side. Not a great deal he can do about it.
No, Denis Egorov, I mentioned on commentary, he's got a really good right foot, and just moving it away from the wall and striking from distance. Many countries out there could actually take a bit of a tip here. When you have a free kick from there, just move it to the right and then get your shot on goal. This time he goes low past the goalkeeper, very tall keeper, couldn't get down to that, and that's opened the scoring for Russia. And you can see there quite a lot of power on that shot. But here's the second. What a goal. Used his strength on the far side, skill to beat the second, pace to beat the third, and then slots it in the bottom left-hand corner again, this time with his left foot.
As individual goals go, if you're just tuning us, look at this for a replay. Keeping it under control, and this is a super finish.
Yes, like I said, using the power to get away from the first man after the ball gets trapped on the right-hand kickboard. Used a bit of skill to get past the second one, just there, and then once he gets to the keeper, slots it in with his left foot. So first goal with his right, second goal with his left, and Turkey very unlucky not to get back on it here.
Yeah, you've all seen unlucky, and that just there. Both posts across the line and back out, and well, there was a huge cheer from a section of Turkey supporters who thought that one had gone in. And again, Pete, just shifting it on from left to right, great effort.
Yeah, just catches the back of the number 4 for Russia, and that took it away from the keeper into the post, hits the other post, somehow stays out. The referee, I have to say, was just on the far side, on the line. Francois Coquin from France, one of the top officials, was in Rio. Has been in many competitions throughout Europe this season, and he was standing on that touchline, so we had the best view in the house.
And of course, Russia not in Rio 2016, Pete, so it would be, we said at the beginning, it would be a surprise in a way, because Turkey, reigning European champions, went off to Rio, but is it going to be a surprise? Because they were a force in the sport before 2015.
Yes, Russia, yes, they've not played a major international competition since the final in Hereford 2 years ago, but because they have such a strong domestic league, the 3 leagues of Turkey, many Russian players playing in that division, also playing over in Belgium and in Germany here, where we're situated right now. So many of these players will know about the Russian players, but yes, they haven't performed as an international side for 2 years, and they've had to wait as well, because many teams have played a game already. In fact, some have actually played 2. This is the second for Turkey, so they've been sitting on the sidelines not just for 2 years internationally, but also for the first 3 days. But it looks like they're not rusty at all. They've really flown out the blocks here, and it's all for Turkey to do in the second half.
Yeah, they're sat down just behind where our booth is, actually, funnily enough. They're down on the ground. They've got themselves some shade. They're trying to cool off. It is another warm, a little windy, if anything, but another nice warm day here in Berlin. And this will be a delighted Russian team with that opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, Turkey reacted by bringing on Hasan Satay, who again came off the bench in the first game and scored a couple of really good goals, and Turkey were hoping he does exactly the same again. And when he comes onto the pitch, that's when Turkey go to that long ball tactic for the goalkeeper, rolling the ball out the length of the field. It nearly happened once where Satay got free of defenders. It was on the edge of the goalkeeping square, which is only 2 metres from the net, and he just failed to control it. And I think that's one tactic that Turkey will be looking for. They'll also be looking for the runs from deep. Again, I think they've had the better chances in this game. They've had more possession and more of the play was in the Russian half, but they need to take their chances just like Russia have done.
So a second half where maybe one of the three favourites, if you like, is in trouble here in their second game. 2-0 down against the Russian team who were yet to play in the competition. They've come out looking very, very fresh. In a couple of moments we'll show you what is coming up a little bit later on. Still one more game to come, but first of all we'll look at Group A. England leading from Italy, Germany in second position, both Italy and Germany now having had 2 games. France also with 3 points. So at the moment, Group A looking very, very tight. Romania here, Pete, in Group A, they are the thing that could really spoil the party for somebody. One victory against the team that would fancy themselves at this point, and this group changes.
Yes, definitely. I thought that victory might come against Italy. That was their real best chance for Romania, and they were beaten 4-0. So it would be a real upset if Romania do get anything from the games against the likes of France and also Germany, and they've already lost to England by those 6 goals. So it will be a real shock, just exactly the same as in Group B, because in Group B you've got Georgia, who are very similar to Romania in Group A. Georgia have already been hit for 8 already in this tournament, and again it would be a shock if they get anything from any of those games. They've got more problems really than Romania because of only 1 player on the bench, and they've already had a man sent off as well. So they're up against it, and they'll be facing off against Belgium, and if they were going to pick a game to try and get some points from, it will be against Belgium, and that's later on tonight. But you can see the top 3 there in order: Spain, Turkey and Russia. I still think it's between those 3, and if Russia win this game, well, that means that those 3 are clear at the top of the table already.
So, well, day 3 of the IBSA Blind Football European Championships. We're into game 3 of the day, and a bit of a surprise at the moment. Russia are leading by 2-0 against the current reigning champions, which are Turkey, the same team they faced in that final. Turkey came out on top that day, 1-0. They're already 2-0 down here. Again, Pete, for those that are perhaps joining us for the first time, talk to me about this little thing that we've got here. It's about educating people who are tuning in maybe for that first time. Let's talk about the ball first off.
Yeah, the ball, it's smaller than your size 5 football that you use for 11-a-side football. It's a size 4, it's quite heavy, it's got bells in, and the bells obviously give an indication of where the ball is to the players because they're completely blindfolded. Many of the players are obviously B1 visually impaired athletes, so it is quite heavy. So if you're a goalkeeper, then it is going to take a bit of stopping, and that's why many of the goalkeepers wear an awful lot of padding. But if you've got any more questions to ask regarding the sport of blind football, then please follow us on Twitter at Euro 2017 Berlin, and also ask the question using that hashtag #TheSoundOfFootball.
Yes, if you've got any questions, please do send them in at Euro 2017 Berlin, hashtag #TheSoundOfFootball. You might be able to hear a ripple of applause in the background. That's not because Peter's left the studio, it's because the teams are making their way back out onto the field here in Berlin. So from me in the studio, I'm going to hand nicely back to our commentary box for what should be a cracker of a second half. First voice you'll hear is Jonathan Bell. He's with Peter Selby.
Indeed I am. Thank you very much, Alan. Very much looking forward and ready to go for this second period where Turkey have a minor mountain to climb, trailing by 2-0 here against Russia. Of course, Russia seeking revenge for that 2015 European Championship defeat. And those who were at that game 2 years ago do speak about this being a rerun of it, but there are still two very equal teams on the field. Either team could have won that day, even could have gone down to penalties, but Turkey were fortuitous in the end thanks to the goal coming in the final from Kahraman Kurtoglu. Substitution at half-time for Turkey. Coming onto the pitch is Selal Koban, and he replaces Emre Aslan. So a like-for-like change for Turkey, who start in a diamond formation. At the back of it, defending in front of his goalkeeper, is the captain, number 8, Ibrahim Uzum. Turkey in all red, shirt, shorts and socks, kicking from right to left in this second half. Russia will get us underway, though, in their white shirts with a bit of a white collar as well, like a bit of a skull shirt with white shorts and white socks. Left to right, over the ball is Andrei Tikhonov, the number 3, and in front of him, he will lay the ball off to Evgeny Ivanov. Referee puts his whistle to his lips, and we're underway with the second period of 20 minutes here. Russia holding on to a 2-0 advantage. Their first game, of course, in these championships. Turkey played last night and beat Belgium 7-0. It's certainly not going that well for them today so far. Long way to go, though. Tikhonov has possession on the halfway line. The Russian coming forward. He's dead central. Nice Marseille turn away from the challenge coming in from Erkan Bayraktar towards the left-hand side. And Tikhonov trying to get possession back in that corner next to where the corner kicks are taken, and indeed it will be a corner for Russia. Say Marseille turn. Pete, you know better than me. It's a Marseille roulette. Good bit of skill from Tikhonov, and he wins a corner on the left-hand side.
Yeah, the first Marseille roulette that we've seen. We've managed to get back to the commentary position after chat at half-time with Alan March, and well, we're discussing how can Turkey get back into this game, and one of those is by not conceding a third. Russia with this corner from the left-hand side, dribbling into the D, going to ground, nothing given. Ivanov, still the ball is live on that left-hand side of the D, and out come now Turkey with the ball. And number 8, Uzum, the captain, tackled though by Ivanov, goes after the ball on the right-hand side, gets to his feet eventually, but the ball's gone out for the goalkeeping restart, thrown almost at the referee, who's herring downfield to try and keep up with play. Can the ball be kept in from going out? No, it can't, so it will be a restart this time for Russia. So 20 minutes to go. Remember, the clock is stopped at every opportunity once the referee's whistle has blown, so yes, 20 minutes, but it can carry on for virtually double that. Long ball out of defence by Russia down the left-hand side. That's going to run out of play for another restart. So once again, get in contact with us at Euro 2017 Berlin. Use the hashtag #TheSoundOfFootball and ask us any questions regarding blind football, maybe a question about the sport or even about the teams here. Make sure you tell us where you're watching from as well. Lovely styling run here by Tikhonov, the number 3 for Russia. Gets to the broken line, picks up the ball again. Right-hand side shot into the mid-drift of the keeper, who positioned himself well, Icon. And just rolls it out to the right-hand side, and Turkey can now build through. Okal over the halfway line, stops, right-hand side, drags back, side-footed, right-footed ball across to the left-hand side, and Okal goes down the wing, left-hand side, in the D, shot is blocked by the defender, who lets out a cry in agony. They both get to their feet, and it's going to be a corner. Good play there by Turkey, switching sides, and Okal really sitting on the afterburners, getting into the D, although he was very cute angle for number 7 to try and get a shot on goal. Maybe he should have used his left foot instead of the right, but he's got a corner anyway, so second opportunity, and all 4 Turkish players are inside the D. Ball gets played off a Russian defender, so it's going to be another corner. Number 7 Okal again to take this on the left-hand side. So Okal looks like he's going to take this one once again. And yes, he does. He runs back to the broken line. Now more central. Gets tackled by his opposite, number 7. Still with Okal. Now central position. Right-footed shot. Tipped around the post by the keeper. Good effort there by Okal. He managed to wrap his foot around. It was heading towards the top corner, but the goalkeeper dives away to his left-hand side and parries it around. And it's going to be another corner, this time from the right-hand side.
So Turkey will take it. And you mentioned, Pete, there are 4 men forward for Turkey. My reaction to that is good, because in the first period they were very conservative and not wanting to push too many men forward at all. And this is why, because of the risk of the counter-attack from Russia. And on that charge is the man on a hat-trick, and he misses. Egorov going through one-on-one with Resat Akion, and he just put it wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand post. There seems to be an injury as well for Turkey. In fact, it's a disfigured blindfold for Ibrahim Uzum, the Turkish captain. The referee just making sure that blindfold is in the right position. But we mentioned how Turkey pushed everyone forward, and Denis Egorov had a lot of room to run into there, got himself into a very good position centrally on the edge of the area, but diverted it wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand upright. So Turkey let off one there, and that may make John Ball, the Turkey manager, rethink things a bit with tactics. Of course, he will need a bit of defensive cover whenever his side have a corner. Bit of a paradox for Turkey. They want to go and get a goal back, but they also do not want to concede another one. Substitution about to be made by Turkey. Maybe John Ball beginning to bring on the attacking options now, but in fact the play is going to continue before we have that substitution. So Russia starting things from the back. Andrei Tikhonov down the left-hand side, tries to play the ball towards Evgeny Ivanov, but intercepted by Kelal Koban. Coming forward over halfway, has to check his run due to the attention of Andrei Tikhonov. And he plays the ball to the left-hand side, and Okel darting towards the left side of the area, shoots low, well saved by the goalkeeper. Back for Koban now, right side of the area, shot comes in low again, and again it's pitching in equal to it. A good flurry of pressure this from Turkey, similar to what we had in the first half as well, and they begin to make a change now and bring on their star players. Off comes Erkan Bayraktar, a first run out in this competition for him today. He's replaced by Hasan Satay, who now makes his way onto the field. We said there weren't many flair players being put onto the pitch at one time for Turkey. Well, now they have 2. Hasan Satay, the number 11, and also the number 7, Emrah Okel. Because Okel stood over the ball on the right-hand side, and with him is Salal Koban as well. So those two stood with each other in the right corner, and it's a short one, as we suspected, taking Emrah Okel with an arced run towards the left-hand side. He's pushed towards the halfway line, but he still tussles for possession. Now coming forward towards the broken line. Tries to stop the ball, drag it forward, then continue his run. He eventually gets a free kick after being felled by Evgeny Ivanov, who shakes his head with a lot of innocence there. Russia conceding 14 fouls in the first half, and this may be the first team foul of the second. The referee just going over to the far side to confirm with the referee whether or not it is a team foul. Indeed it is. So Russia with their first team foul of this second period. Turkey will have a free kick just right of centre on the attacking broken line. Stood over the ball is a combination of the number 7 Emrah Okel, and alongside him, just behind him, captain Ibrahim Uzum.
Yeah, either Uzum or Okel to take this. Looks like it's going to be Uzum just to roll the ball forward. No, they've changed sides. So Uzum, who's already got a goal to his name. Post being tapped. Silence descends on the stadium here in Berlin. That's absolutely bathed in sunshine. Uzum shoots from distance wide of the left-hand upright. Looked like he was heading towards the top corner, not too far away from the Turkish captain. Trying to get his side back into this tie. Long throw out by the Russian goalkeeper down the right-hand side. Blocked by the Turkish defence, who can launch a counter-attack. It's that man, Uzum, who plays it down the left to Satay. Satay from the left-hand side, approaching the D, stops, can't keep the ball from getting out to play. That's going to be another restart. So the Russian keeper, he's going to throw this down the left-hand side as we see that effort whistling past the post. Long throw just goes out of play, so it will be another long throw by the Turkish goalkeeper this time to find that man Satay on the left. He controls, he's inside the Turkish half, but he's very deep, nearer the halfway line than the goal line. Satay goes himself, runs into a player, no foul given, still got control, flips the ball over to Okel on that far right. Good ball, Okel, number 7, edge of the D, nearer the corner than the goal. Now does a banana run around and goes to ground, arms flailing in the air, but he was tripped from behind by number 9 Ivanov. And it's going to be another free kick to Turkey from a similar position, maybe slightly further to the right-hand side, but same distance, 2 or 3 yards inside the broken line. and it's another foul. I won't be surprised if it's another team foul for Russia. Yes, indeed. That's 2 in these early stages of the second half, and that could be one way that Turkey get back into this game, but they're going to, first of all, have this striker goal from this free kick. Now, we've seen them so far in this game just move the ball and then take a shot with either the right or left foot. This is to the right of centre, so I won't be surprised if it's moved to the left and then a left-footed shot. It's Okal and once again Uzum. I think it's going to be Uzum this time to just roll the ball for Okal to strike. Once again, the 2 posts have been tapped, so the players know exactly where they are located on the field of play. As Jonathan's mentioned already, the Turkish coach behind the goal using a ring on his hand. Uzum this time. Left-footed shot straight at the keeper, who got his angles correct and parries it away, and inadvertently actually starts a counter-attack, and it's the Russian number 4, Loktinov, going downfield. Is on the edge of the D. If he can pick up possession of the ball, he'll have a chance to strike at goal. He can't, and it just runs out of play. Goalkeeper restart for Turkey. Once again, that long throw, this time picked up though by a white shirt. Igorov looking for a hat-trick, plays the ball out to left. There wasn't a teammate there, so the shout will be for the Turkish players just to control the ball, and it just hacked clear. Anywhere will do, under no pressure though. They could have easily tried to pick out a man, but it's found Sate somehow, who's the only man forward, and he bundles the ball out for a restart for Russia.
Turkey have got the same sort of momentum from the first half in this second half as well. They are very much peppering the Russian goal. A wonderful display so far from Kirill Pichinin to deny the Turkish attacks towards his net. But I fear for Russia defensively. I think it won't be too long before Turkey do find the back of the net if they go the way they're going at the moment. It's a long throw forward, again causing problems. Satay, left side of the area, back to goal, trying to turn on a sixpence. He's got 4 white shirts around him, trying to wriggle his way through all of them. Just loses control of it towards the byline out on the left-hand side. And Hasan Satay really is the one injecting the pace into the game for Turkey at the moment. Don't forget, Emre Okal is on the pitch as well. 7 goals in Euro 2015. He needs to be on the ball a little bit more than he has been in this second half so far. Back with the Russian keeper, Pichinin. Bowls it out towards the right-hand side. A very firm throw indeed. Control attempted by Denis Egorov, but instead the ball is won by Salal Koban. Just in the inside left channel, midway inside his own half. Puts the ball forward for Hasan Satay to control. He's got a line of 4 white shirts in front of him. Tries to get past the first of them, which is Egorov. He just about succeeds, but Tikhonov is on the scene as well. And it's like every man out there for themselves for Russia at the moment. They don't really care when they're defending, who's around them, whether it's a teammate or not. They just want to get the ball away. Ivanov down the other end with a bit of flair as he runs towards the attacking zone inside the Turkish half. One referee seemed to shake his head that wasn't a foul. The other one blew his whistle, and the free kick is given in the end for Russia, and it will be Turkey's first team foul of the second half. So it'll be a free kick just inside the attacking zone by around a metre or so, and it is closer to the kickboard on the right than it is in the centre part of the field. So stood over the ball is Ivanov, and just in front of him is number 7, Egorov. So what can that combination provide? It's a 4-man Turkish wall, and just stood in front of them trying to block the goalkeeper's vision is Tikhonov as well. But this will all be about Egorov, who will look to try and get his hat-trick here. The trainer behind the goal, Alexander Aristov, just tapping the crossbar and post. So Egorov knows where to aim for now. Gets the ball, dallies with it a bit, but manages to get towards the left side of the area, goes for the shot, gets more of Okal than he does the ball, and it harmlessly goes out from a Turkish perspective for their throw. Thrown forward by Akian down the left-hand side, and it's going to go all the way out, in fact, for a Russian ball now, which Pichinin will take. So no goals in this second half. We've played just over 5.5 minutes. Of course, as Pete has mentioned numerous times, the clock stops whenever there is a delay in play. Therefore, we're going through this half pretty slowly at the moment. The ball going out quite regularly at this moment in time. Russia leading, though, by 2-0, and they are happy that this is a bit of a scruffy affair at the moment. Right-hand side, though, Okal trying to burst into the area and get a shot in on the angle. He runs out of space, so as he gets towards the byline, and it goes out of play for the goalkeeper's ball. Russia having it at the back now with Tikhonov. Out towards the right-hand side, searching for Egorov, but in there first is Celal Koban, who's been a bit of an underrated player today for Turkey. He's gone about his business very well, the small number 10, and he's battling forward with it now as well. That leaves it for Hasan Satay to work something out of. Dead central, goes for the shot. It takes the deflection off the Russian skipper, Alexei Loktinov, and out for a Turkey corner on the right-hand side. Not the first time we have said that through the duration of this game, but Turkey yet to be able to hit the back of the net due to good Russian defending and also an inspired performance in goal from Kirill Pichinen, the number 12 in all green in the Russian net. So Russia put 3 men in front of the 2 Turks taking this corner. Okal colliding into one of them there, Ivanov, who can now break over the halfway line. He's only got Uzum to beat. He's struggling to do so at the moment, Ivanov. He's still managing to dribble through, but in the end, a combination. Well, Ivanov's got a chance here, and he pokes it towards the goal, goes underneath Akion, and he manages to clutch it at the second attempt on the line. That was almost the goal that sealed the game for Russia. Meanwhile, at the other end, once again, Hasan Satay running the ball out of play, unfortunately, and Russia throwing it out from the back, long towards the man on a hat-trick, Denis Egorov, the number 7. Loses possession. Hasan Satay trying to come forward. Add to the the goals that he got last night. Of course, he got a brace in the win against Belgium. It's not quite being that sort of game for Turkey so far. They're just looking for the 1 goal, and they'd be happy with that at the moment to work from that sort of foundation. Substitution for Russia now as well, should I say, with Evgeny Ivanov being replaced by Evgeny Shalayev. Is that substitution again, Pete?
Yeah, it was quite an introduction actually in the first half by Shalayev, who was on the field of play for around about 5 minutes. He gave away 2 fouls. One possibly could have been a yellow card, even more. It's a good job the person was had his back to him, really shoulder bars using his elbow, and then he got taken off after some good play. So find out what he does in the second half. Good slalom run here by Tikhonov, who from the back advances over the halfway line. Tackled though by the red shirts of Turkey. And number 7, Okal, inside the centre circle, evades his man. He's got 4 men between him and the goal. He's past the broken line. He's got Satay over on the left-hand side if he can find him. There's 3 men trying to hunt this ball, push over the player, but a volley was called, and it means that the ball just runs out harmlessly for a goal kick for Russia. I don't think the Turkish bench were too impressed with that. Just rolls it to the left-hand side of the D. Long ball from that left-hand side across to the right, picked up by Egorov, although he just miscontrols it, and it goes out for, again, a restart for Turkey. And the Turkish goalkeeper actually collided with the coach. Throw downfield, finds Satay, and a great save by the Russian goalkeeper. A lot of attention was down by the Turkish net, and that's where I'm viewing now, because it was an incident between the coach and the goalkeeper. The ball was thrown downfield and Satay picked it up, and his shot was blocked by the keeper. But the Russian coach behind the goal, who helps in the attack for the Russians, got in the way of the Turkish keeper as he tried to throw downfield. Turns out the throw was a good one in the end, so it didn't put him off that much, but no love lost between those two, and keep a close look on that. Anyway, corner 2, Turkey from the right-hand side. Tried to be squared by Satay over to the left, and Koban was the intended target. He tries to recover the ball for Turkey. Remember, 2 goals down, 8 minutes gone inside this second half. And as the sun is starting to go down here in Berlin, right in front of our position, so we have to shield our eyes from the sun. It's with Turkey though, through Satay, central position, chance for a shot on goal, but defender bravely comes across, takes one for the team. It squirms wide for a corner, but the defender is on the ground and hasn't moved, just trying to pick out his number. It could actually be the new substitute, Shalayev, who's on the floor. He slowly gets to his feet, In fact, it's going to be number 4. And there's Loktinov, who gets to his feet and looks a little bit worse for wear, walking quite gingerly, and there's going to be a substitution, but it's not for the Russian team, it's for Turkey. Coming off the field is number 10, Koban, and onto the field is Kurbatoglu, who of course scored that winning goal for Turkey in the final 2 years ago. And Kurbatoglu takes his place on the left of the D. 3 men forward. The only man back is Uzum, the captain, who can strike one. He's already scored a goal in this tournament. So corner to Turkey from the right-hand side. Running around in an arc-like fashion is Okal. Gets stopped by the Russian defence as he got to that broken line. Very similar tactic employed by most of the teams here in his European Championships, but it's still with Okal. Again, snuffed out by this defence, and Kurbatoglu tried to use his strength to try and win the ball back. It's inside the final third for Russia. They do have possession by their own byline, so they're going to have to be careful not to play the ball out. Inverted, he plays it across towards the keeper, nearly intercepted by Satay. It can be cleared now by Shelev on that far left-hand side. It isn't. Satay with a right-footed shot wide of the left-hand post. Inside the goalkeeping square was Okal, almost trying to get his head on the ball. But a shot and goal by Satay, but once again wide, and there's only 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, as you mentioned, 11 minutes to go, Pete, and surely it's only a matter of time before Turkey half the arrears here. And, well, Russia looking as rattled as the ball here, and it goes wide from Satay. An aurora of anger from him as that right-footed shot drifts past Kirill Pichunin's left-hand upright. A good bit of work from him to be able to create the space just to his right. And that right-footed shot just goes off the outside of his boot and swirls away from Pichunin's goal. So it is he, the Russian keeper, with the ball in hand now. Also a yellow card from earlier on in this game, but Pichunin has been well behaved ever since. Throws the ball long off the kickboard off the far side and out of play, however. Thrown immediately downfield by Akian, trying to put the Russian defence under pressure. They've looked a bit nervy in the last few moments. And a good tackle coming in from Kurbatoglu, striding forward. He's going opposite to the right, but he can't find him. Instead he goes for the effort towards the near post, takes a deflection into the path of Pichunin, who throws it out towards the left-hand side. The ball goes all the way down behind and out for another Turkish ball. Akian throwing it forward down the left-hand side this time around. On the ball now is Okal, trying to get to the left-hand side, the corner of the box. He's got 2 Russians around him. One seems to be a blocker, and the other defender seems to be there to take the ball. They're doing it in illegal fashion, Russia. The referee now giving a free kick to the runners-up from 2015, who will have the ball on the right-hand side, right next to the kickboard and on the halfway line. Standing over the ball, Andrei Tikhonov, my man of the match for today so far, and stood in front of him is Denis Egorov. Team foul recorded then by Turkey, 2 fouls each. Not very close at the moment to the deadly 6th team penalty, and we've seen how important they can be already just today alone. Battling for the ball on halfway, a really good battle as well as the captain Uzum, trying to come forward down the centre. Backing him up was Kurbatoglu as well, but in the end Russia coming out on top with Shelev on the right-hand side. He's dispossessed by Kurbatoglu, who's got a lot of fire in his belly at the moment, coming forward, the number 4 down the centre. He's got 3 white shirts in front of him. Russia so narrow defensively, and they had an option out there with Satay on the left-hand side, did Turkey. They didn't use it. Now Egorov's down the other end, coming to the right corner of the area. Shot comes in low and blocked off Uzum, who looks back towards his goalkeeper, Akian, who's living very dangerously on the edge of his area there. He managed to restrain himself from coming outside of his goal rectangle. Otherwise, that would have been a penalty to Russia. Meanwhile, at the other end, Russia conceding the latest corner, which will be given in Turkey's favour. Not much happening in the way of chances, Pete, but breathless stuff. The ball completely going from one end to the other pitch, scurrying around all the time, but Turkey need to find a goal soon.
Yeah, there's a lot of action off the ball as well. Coaches being given yellow cards. The number 3 for Russia, Tichanov, who you mentioned, has been playing very well. He's thrown elbows all over the place and looking not to connect with an opponent. There's quite a lot going on off the ball, but here's Sate trying to get a shot in from the edge of the D. He can't, but he follows the track of the ball to the right-hand kickboard. Goes again down that right-hand side. Good tackle on him by Shaliev, who comes up to the halfway line. Over the halfway line he goes, over to the right-hand side. Chance for a shot from an angle, hits the side netting, and it's going to be a quick restart for the Turkish goalkeeper. Throws it quickly down the left to try and find Satay. It goes beyond him and Kurtoglu, and it finds Okal. Okal inside the D, drifts from the left to the right. He has to go back to the halfway line. He's being tackled by a teammate in Kurtoglu, who we mentioned has got that tremendous right foot, and he's been forced back into his own half. The goal scorer, of course, of that winning goal 2 years ago. He's going himself now downfield past the broken line, edge of the D. Across comes his fellow number 4, Loktinov, who just gets his body in the way, misses his first attempted clearance and plays it out for a corner to Turkey on the right.
You mentioned, Pete, how Kurtoglu was the goal scorer in that 2015 final. Incidentally, the only goal Russia conceded throughout the tournament. They weren't prolific in front of goal, just getting 2 goals through the duration of those championships in Hereford. But they only conceded 1, and that was from Kurtoglu, and it's very clear as to why they were so strong in defence. Very stringent so far in this game, despite the number of chances Turkey have had, and the possession stats are way into the favour of Turkey here. They have not managed to break their duck in this game and get the ball into the back of the net. Free kick given for obstruction by Kurtoglu there. We said that the Russians were sort of doing a little thing where they go at one player to the ball, another one guarding off the oncoming man. Turkey doing that, not subtle enough. Free kick.
Yeah, it's going to be a free kick to Russia from their own corner on the left-hand side. Looking at the time, we've got 8.5 minutes remaining of this game. And a foul has been called, so coming over to the near side. So timeout called by Russia. So a chance for the two teams to sort themselves out. Really warm as well, take on some water. I said 8.5 minutes remaining, 2 fouls each, but the more important scoreline is Russia leading by those 2 Denisi Gorov goals in that first half. And Turkey, well, they're looking short of answers at the moment. The long throw tactic hasn't worked in this game like it did in the first against Belgium. But then if they do lose this game against Russia, they still have a chance to go through. Russia, also Spain and Turkey, I think we'll be filling the top 2, probably top 3 positions in this group. It's just a matter of who will be in the top 2. And a great start this for Russia, and it's the first chance they've had to correct the ills, as they would say, from 2 years ago. I'm sure Turkey would be not saying that at all, but guess gaining revenge possibly is the best way of putting it. And it could be really the first question I ask a member of the Russian side after the final whistle. If the score remains the same, it's 2-0 or maybe even more, whether it is a revenge mission or whether they've got over that defeat in the final 2 years ago, and today is a completely different day and a completely different tournament. They're going to get the game back underway from their own corner flag, and it's going to be on that left-hand side, shooting from left to right in all whites, all red of Turkey. Russia play it down the right-hand side and go straight to the feet of Okal, and Okal will go over halfway, either through himself or by passing the ball. He goes himself down the left-hand side. Once the referee tapped the ball, here goes Okal, and just warms into his fellow number 7, Igorov, the scorer of the 2 goals that separate the 2 sides. But Okal goes back to the halfway line to pick it up once again for Turkey. Plays the ball down the left-hand side to find Satay, and Satay couldn't control the ball, and it runs out for, again, another Russian goal kick.
Turkey losing this game, but not for the want of trying. They've been all over Russia in the second half, but they just haven't found the appropriate touch to put the ball into the back of the net. Manful better defending that from Kurtoglu, and then he gets fouled himself on halfway by the retreating Shalayev, and the referee putting his whistle to his lips once again. That should be a 3rd team foul for Russia as well. We'll of course wait for confirmation of that, and we get it there from the referee as well. So this free kick just over the halfway line and just in from the right-hand kickboard as well, sort of midway between the edge of the centre circle and the kickboard on that far side. The Turkish right stood over the ball is the captain İbrahim Uzum, and just in front is Emrah Okul, looking to add to the goal that he got last night against Belgium. Running down the right-hand side, goes past Tikhonov, who then fouls Okul. 2 fouls in quick succession there from Russia, who have kept their discipline for a vast majority of this game, but things beginning to wane a bit on that front, and I think that's going to be a 4th team foul of the game for Russia. And living dangerously here, one more foul they have got to play with before they will concede an 8-metre penalty. Yes. So free kick on the far side, Pete, and over the ball once again is Emrah Okul. He hasn't found the back of the net, but he's looked dangerous.
He has, and it's one way that this team from Turkey could get back into the game with those 8-metre penalty kicks. He said 4 team fouls. Remember, they're allowed 5. Any more from that, and they will result in these 8-metre kicks. Okal looks like he's going to be the one to take this. Again, posts being tapped, so he'll know where he's going to aim for. 3 men in the wall. It's over on the right-hand side, so he might drift towards the centre first before unleashing the shot, or he could try and take the keeper by surprise. Here goes Okul, tries to chip the ball forward to Satayu, can't control the ball on the left-hand side, and he has to try and recover the ball. He does so, but runs it out of play for a goal kick to Russia.
The difficulty with the chip ball, Pete, it fools defenders, but it also fools attackers as well. It's a very difficult ball to control if you can see when it's coming, but when you're blindfolded, it is a very difficult task indeed. A 2-on-2 this at the moment in the Turkish half. It's Egorov of Russia trying to win the ball. He won't get the ball, but he'll certainly get a corner on the right-hand side. Russia being reserved as to who they throw up for this. Just the 2 players in the corner in the white shirts, shorts and socks. Stood over the ball is Shalayev, and just in front of him is Egorov, who will receive the ball from this corner and try and take on the 3 defenders in red in front of him. Just over 7 minutes remaining in this contest. A goal now for Russia and a hat-trick for Egorov would definitely see the game set and match. He has to retreat at midway inside the Turkish half. A lovely turn away from Kurbatoglu. Shot comes in, it's a high one towards the top right corner of Akian's net, but it goes wide in the end and well behind of the scoreboard away to our right. A big collision that from Shalayev into the scoreboard on that far side, lifting the scoreboard up momentarily. I should say the kickball rather than the scoreboard, that would be impressive. That kick forward by Uzum from his own half. Down towards the left-hand side, and Sate again, he's struggling to find where the ball is. That time it goes behind him and out for a goalkeeper's ball for Pitchinen to throw down the right-hand side. Here's Egorov. In fact, the ball just rolls past him in the end, and Uzum can shepherd it out for a goalkeeper's ball. Akian wasting no time at all as he loops the ball down towards the right-hand side. Met well by the feet of Kurbatoglu. On the right, tries to pull it towards the near post. It does take a deflection off Tikhonov, who was with him all the way, and it will be a corner on the right-hand side. The referee just making sure that the crossbar posts, the net, they're all on the line and ready for this corner to be taken. I think it may have been slightly nudged out of the way when Pitchinen dived towards his near post to block that ball. He may have caught the near post and slightly disfigured the net. All is good now, though. Turkey with the corner on the right-hand side. Kurbatoglu has it on the right. He's been well shielded by Shalayev at the moment, who is backed by a fellow 2 Russian defenders as well. Kurbatoglu coming centrally now, back to goal, trying to turn onto the right foot, then onto the left again. The 4 Russian defenders jockeying with him all the way. He tries to get room for a shot, well blocked by the captain, Loktinov. Still not fully cleared away. Up it goes now towards halfway, eventually by Russia, straight to the feet of the captain for Turkey. Uzum coming forward. He moves out towards the right-hand side and finds the feet of Emrah Okul. Okul down towards the touchboard. Good bit of play as he dribbles in towards the right side of the area, but lost his footing at the crucial moment. He holds his left knee. It may have been a nasty twist, actually, as he went to ground there. His left ankle is what he's clutching rather than his knee. And look at the ferocity of the Russian coach. You're 2-0 up.
Yeah, I think the reason he looked upset is because probably of those Russian fouls. You don't want to be given anyway, especially inside the D. You don't want a team foul and a penalty. That would be a real double blow, but they are 2 goals in front with less than 6 minutes remaining. Good throw out down the left-hand side to find Sheliev, who drifts in from the left-hand side past the halfway line. He's into the final third, but tackled by Satai, who's come back, and he plays it skillfully back to the keeper, who will launch the ball downfield. In fact, it's gently placed downfield to find number 4, Kurbatoglu, who just loses possession momentarily and now squares it towards Satai, who, if he can control the ball and turn his man, he can have a clear run on goal. Past the broken line, left-hand side, drifts inside, more central position, 2 men in front of him, bulldozes past the first, the ball stationary, now picked up again by the Turkish attack, and it's just cleared by Russia. And Sheliev, first of all, decided to take a swipe at the ball. Now he's going to run the ball out, and that was the best option against his fellow number 8. And that's the captain, Uzum, who again just passes it back to the goalkeeper. He's only got a few seconds to deal with this, and he gently plays it downfield, finds Satai on the left corner of the D. If he can drift inside, he'll have a really good opportunity. Collision inside the D, nothing given by the officials, plenty of cries from the crowd, but they will have a corner, and it will be on the right-hand side for Turkey. Satai just having a quick chat with the referee, and the referee is just saying, hang on, I'm the boss here, nothing given. But you can't blame him for having a quick word. There was no theatrics or anything like that. It's going to be a corner for Turkey with 5.5 minutes remaining of this game. 2-0 down, Russia 2-0 to the 4. And here go Turkey through Okal from that right-hand side. Drifts into the D, right-footed shot goes wide of the left-hand post. And Russia breathe a sigh of relief once again.
One person I haven't mentioned too much is the captain for Russia, Alexei Loktinov, and he's always been at the anchor of the Russian defence all the way through this game. The Turkish players, if they're fortunate enough to get past the first 2 players in front of them, they're always defeated by the number 4, Loktinov. That time a shot coming in from Okal. He couldn't keep it on target. It went in towards the side netting. And you have to feel that Turkey aren't getting the breaks at the moment. It's not going to be their day. Kurbatoglu switches the ball from right to left. Left corner of the box. Here is Satai on the right foot now. Drifts towards the right corner of the area. He's struggled all the way through this game to get the ball under control, Satai, which is very much unlike him. He's now in the shade on the right-hand side. Saliev always battling away the Russian. But he's going to lose out to Kurbatoglu. He turns inside, then the ball defeats him. Kurbatoglu manages to track the ball's location once again due to the rattle inside of it. But good defending from Russia. Momentarily, oh well, once again, the shot coming in from Satai. He roars out in anger as he misses the target. They're getting the breaks, Turkey, in that instance, but then they can't put it on target. A rare break.
Yeah, the power's not in the shots, and obviously they're not on target for the first instinct, but unlike the game against Belgium, they're not getting a lot of power in the shots and maybe just lacking a little bit of composure in that D, chasing the game rather than being out in front. Substitute coming on for Russia, number 9, Ivanov, back on the field, replacing number 8, Sheliev. Restart for Russia down the right-hand side, taking number 3 actually Tikhonov by surprise. He had his hands on his hips, but he's dribbling towards the broken line now. Down the centre, stops. Marseille Roulette outside of the D. Right-footed shot comes off the Turkish defence and goes out for a corner to Russia. And they'll be happy for 2 reasons. One, they're 2 goals up, but also this just relieves a little bit of pressure because they're in the opposition half, down by the right-hand corner. Obviously, the time gets stopped. 3.5 minutes are remaining. And Russia 2 goals to the 4. There's 2 goals in the first half by Igorov. But, Turkey will be ruining many missed chances. Corner taken back to the broken line. In fact, here goes number 7 Igorov looking for that hat-trick and to really kill the game off. Stopped by the Turkish defence, doing well is Kurbatoglu up to the halfway line, over the halfway line now. Satai is further forward than him, but so is a wall of Russian defenders, and they can launch a counter-attack now through Igorov in the centre circle, drifting to the left-hand side. There's only 2 defenders back, goes past the first one, there's only 1 more, that's the captain Uzum. Here goes Igorov, right-footed shot, takes a deflection, and the keeper parries it around. The goalkeeper went initially to his right, the deflection took it to his left, he quickly changed direction and parries it around for another corner. Good save there by the giant goalkeeper for Turkey, Akron, who has those long throwouts, but he's also quite agile as well for a big man. And it's going to be another corner to Russia, this time from the right-hand side.
It's taken short. Tikhonov leaving it now for Agorov. Goes down to the penalty area. No foul according to the referee. Still battling away. Agorov on the edge of the box. The ball is free. The keeper can't get there. Agorov with a chance back to goal. Now tries to turn on a sixpence on the edge of the area. Good battling from Kurpatoglu, the number 4. He will come forward down the right-hand side. In fact, no, he'll play it back to Captain Uzum, who looks for goalkeeper Akion. Long ball forward, right down the heart, takes a deflection on it, which takes it away from the path of Satai as it rolls through to Pichinen, the Russian goalkeeper, who could throw it down to Agorov. Lots of room in front of him to run down the right-hand side. I'm sure that will be communicated to him by the guard behind the goal. Agorov now central, battling with his opposite number, Okal. Battling, a word I've used a lot in this game, and rightly so as well, because that has been the theme of the match. It's been very tight, very physical. Russia leading 2-0. These two sides hoping to regress, of course, from Group B, but Spain in this group as well will certainly not be easy customers. On the right-hand side, Turkey have a chance to half the arrears late on. Just over 3 minutes remaining. It will be taken by a combination of Kurvatu, the number 4, and also Okal, who's on the ball now in the bright green boots. He's coming centrally, again running into that cluster of Russian players, all 4 of them just coming together in the centre and following the rattle of the ball. Now a chance on the left-hand side with Satai trying to squirm his way towards the byline, and it really has not been Hassan Satai's day at all, this. Nothing's really come off for him, and Pichinen throwing the ball forward for Russia gives their defence a moment's worth of respite. That's not going to last long though, because Kurvatoglu runs down the right side. Ball inside is not responded to immediately by Okal, who then clashes into the goalkeeper Pichinen, who screams as he goes down on the floor. He clutches his right ankle. It's a yellow card issued to Emrah Okal. A nasty collision there between the goalkeeper and the Turkish forward. It was a free ball on the edge of the goalkeeper's area. Okal had every right to go towards it. He slammed his right foot towards the ball at the same time. So did Pichinen with 2 hands. And Okal's right foot making enemies with Pichinen's right leg. And Pichinen twists his leg as he goes down as well. That is a nasty injury, not just the kick, but the following twist of the ankle as well. He's still down on the floor, nursing that injury, and going over to him is the doctor of Romania, Yuri Kirichuk, and physio Konstantin Starkov is around that scene as well at the moment. So a moment's stoppage in this game, as the referee is just making sure that the goalkeeper is okay. Meanwhile, Russia will be making an outfield substitution as we have this delay. Leaving the field will be Denis Egorov, and what a game this man has had. 2 goals, he won't get his hat-trick it seems, replaced now by number 6 Nikita Egorov, his namesake, and also a like-for-like change as well. But a nasty injury for Pichinen, whose game may be over. In fact, you can see at the top right of your screen, Anton Aikvalev will be coming on very soon. Pichinen doesn't want to come off here. He's trying to nurse his right ankle, but this is the exact reason why he got that injury. There is a slight suspicion of the right hand being outside of the goalkeeper's area. I suspect not, but the fury on Pichinen's face as he clutched his right ankle there just signifies exactly how hurt he was at the end of that. But now he's okay to continue, it seems. Bit of a miraculous recovery. Bit of a tongue twister. And physio for Russia is now doing his laces instead of nursing the ankle. And the referee has given the goalkeeper the benefit of the doubt. Of course, he has other things to contend with the ankle injury, but while his hands outside of the goal area, it certainly would have made things interesting if Turkey had been given a penalty. So the laces now being done of Pichinen, and the goalkeeper for reserve goalkeeper for Russia, Anton Aikvalev, has to wait his turn on the far side, and it looks as if he won't get a run out in this game. So Pichinen fit to continue, just about, getting a round of applause from 3 sides of this stadium here in Berlin. And Russia will restart play from their edge of their own area. The ball from Loktinov being rolled forward slightly for Tikhonov to run with it on the left-hand side towards the halfway line. Kurbatoglu trying to intercept, but it's a lovely turn from Tikhonov. He's been such a good player. The close control is absolutely fantastic for him. Kurbatoglu has the physical strength, though, to get past him. Then a free kick is given, and Tikhonov screaming out with frustration there as that foul is conceded. Not the first time he's conceded a foul in this game, Andrei Tikhonov, and it will be a 5th team foul for Russia, which will be equally frustrating for them and their head coach as well, because now they only have 1 foul left, and they will be conceding an 8-metre penalty. So Russia have to be really careful in the last 90 seconds of this game. They look as if they've won this 2-0, but don't forget, goal difference could be very crucial at the end of the round-robin stage as well of this competition. So what you've got at the moment, you've got all 4 Turkish players up towards the edge of the Russian area. The ball is just right of centre and around a yard inside the attacking zone. Stood over it is Uzum and also Hasan Satay, and Emrah Okul's making himself a nuisance by standing directly in front of Kirill Pichinin. So a free kick this for Turkey at a crucial time in the game. 90 seconds to go. The ball is laid off for Satay. Right side of the area, shoots. Fantastic save by Pichinin. His ankle certainly didn't hurt that time around as he managed to save that one. And as it hit Pichinin, it also took off the goggles of Okal, who was running in, and I think the goalkeeper's flailing arm as he saved that one may have hit Okal in the face. I said Okal was very much local to the goalkeeper there, and as the goalkeeper flew with 2 hands in the air, not only did he save the ball, he also hit the Turkish player in the process as well. So a double save from Kirill Pichinin, and it will be a drop ball on the near side, which Satay will kick out of play for a Russian ball, and they will start these last 2 minutes of this Group B clash with the ball at the back, and their captain Loktinov. He switches it diagonally low towards the far side, the left, midway inside the Turkish half. It's cleared away by the captain Uzum, who's put in a good shift once again today for the reigning champions, who will not be happy with the result, but their performance has been as good as they've been able to muster. The ball thrown down the centre, it's come all the way for Satay, real chance, he gets one back. Turkey have life in this game, there are 57 seconds to go. Hasan Satay, it must be at the 6th, the 7th, the 8th time of asking, finally manages to get the fortunate break in front of goal to be able to turn just in front of Kirill Pichinin's goal area and fire it high into the top corner of the net. Arrears halved here in Berlin. It is Russia 2, Turkey 1. This game now just as finely poised as the Group A clash earlier between the host nation Germany and France. What a game that was. And we've certainly had our blind football fix well and truly met today. The grey clouds are beginning to circle above the stadium. There's a wind blowing through the stands as well. However, Russia have the ball and will look to close out these next 60 seconds in what could be hairy, scary stuff. The goalkeeper at the other end is down for Russia, Kirill Pichinin. Then the referee is going across just to check if Pichinin's fit to continue, and maybe we will have Anton Aikvalev on the pitch after all. Russia making a change anyway, outfield, leaving the field is number 6. Nikita Egorov, so a short appearance for him on the field, and once again replaced by namesake Denis Egorov, who is not going to be completely rested at the end of this game, and he'll have another opportunity to get his hat-trick. And that man trudging onto the pitch there is Anton Aikvalev, the number 1 for Russia, replacing Kirill Pichinin, who eventually, a couple of minutes after that nasty injury early on today, will come off injured, and I think he's gone straight down the tunnel as well to receive some treatment. So Russia kicking us off from left to right in all white with 60 seconds to go. Gets a bit breezy here in Berlin and a bit chilly as well for the Russians, who have to make sure they come through this game unscathed. They won't get a clean sheet. Remember, they only conceded 1 in Euro 2015 due to this man Kerpatoglu in the final. He's got the ball midway inside his own half on the right-hand side. Turns in field, tries to clear it away with the left foot. Remember as well, the next foul Russia give away, it will be a penalty for Turkey. What a climax to this game that would be. Long ball forward, missed by the defence once again. Salih in, left side of the penalty area. A few fans in front of me rise to their feet in expectation, but the ball just wriggles away from his feet and out of play for a Russia ball. And a first touch for Aikvalev, who throws it forward down the right-hand side. Egorov tasked with trying to close this game out and maybe add a third if he can as well. Down the right-hand side of the Turkish box, Uzun comes across and tries to clear it away, manages to just roll it down the line. Okul trying to sniff out where the ball is. In fact, Kerpatoglu will come in front of him instead. He trips due to a potential foul from a Russian midfielder. The Turkish bench absolutely apoplectic that they didn't get the free kick there, and that will be the last action of the game. Massive frustration on the Turkish bench. John Ball is trying to calm down his coaches. Egorov with his hands on his head, he's on the winning side, is absolutely exhausted after that late finish there. Turkey pulling one back late on through Hasan Satay, but it was not enough for the Turks to come back and equalise in this game here. Russia, the runners-up from 2015, their first competitive game in 2 years, come out on top by 2 goals to 1, but Turkey will feel like they should have had an 8-metre penalty right at the death there. Going down on the edge of the centre circle inside the Russian half was Karaman Kerpatoglu. It was no free kick according to the referee. It'll be interesting to see that back on a replay, because that really could have swung and influenced the not only result of this game but the result of the group as well. John Ball shaking hands with the officials here. He was very respectful of the officials at the end there and calming down his staff behind him in red. And the Russians shaking hands with the referees. The Turks will be disgruntled despite all their efforts, and they did not play badly at all, Turkey. They had a lot more of the ball and a lot more of the attacking play as well. In the end, it's Russia coming out on top by 2 goals to 1. A bit of a word between the Russians and the Turks as they leave the field on the far side, and everything seems okay in terms of that. Of course, a feisty atmosphere with the fact that this is a rerun of the 2015 final, and you've also got 2 of the favourites for the competition this time around locking horns. So there was a bit of needle in this game, but in the end, it is Russia come out on top by 2 goals to 1 against Turkey. You can hear from the Turkish coach now, John Ball, who is down on pitch side along with Pete Selby.
I'm here with the Turkey coach, John Ball. Well, 2015 all over again, but this time a different result.
Yes, a different result. We conceded 2 early goals, which we could have done better with. But after that, we more or less controlled the game, and in the second half, it was all ourselves. We just couldn't get those important goals.
Many people have predicted it's 2 from 3, including yourselves, Russia and Spain, to go through from Group B. Is that how you see it?
Yes, I've seen that right from the very beginning, and now it makes the job a little bit more difficult for us. We certainly have to firstly beat Georgia, and then we have Spain, and I think that will decide what's going to happen.
After this defeat, will you change anything in terms of approach or personnel for the next game?
No, I think the squad have done well, particularly the second half. Couldn't ask any more. We'll look at it, we'll review the match, and we'll make a decision when we've seen that.
John Ball, the coach of Turkey, thank you very much and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you very much.
Well, a controversial end to the game. We'll take a look at that prospective 8-metre penalty. A team foul. They'd had enough already, had Russia. In fact, let's take a look at it right now. John, you were talking about it in commentary as it happened. This was the very dying seconds of the game. This is the second chance I've had to look at it. There does appear to be a leg going across there, but the referees haven't seen it. I don't know if you've got another angle of that one. That would have given Turkey a penalty with about 5 seconds left.
I think it was difficult for the officials to work out because there were 2 players in red and 2 players in white around the ball at the time. Kurpatoglu got there just ahead of Okul, broke away, it seemed, on the edge of the centre circle inside the Russian half. He then went to ground due to one of the flailing legs from Ivanov, the number 9. For Russia, it appeared to be the case anyway. The Turkish bench went absolutely balmy. They were banging on the kickboards on the side. John Ball, who we just heard from there, was trying to calm them down and regain a bit of composure. But that would have been a vital moment in the game. Just seconds to go until the end. An 8-metre penalty could have equalised the contest. Not only affected the result, but affected the final standings in Group B as well.
We'll have a look back at the goals from that game in a couple of moments, so we might get another angle of that free kick moment as well. But at the end, whatever happens, it is a defeat for Turkey. It is a defeat for the reigning champions. Here we go again. Let's take another look at this. And just there is a foot going in. But I agree with you, Jono, that there is 2 red shirts, there's 2 white shirts, lots of feet, and the official has to make a very, very quick decision. Let's take a look at the goals in a couple of moments. It is defeat for the reigning champions here on day 3, and cat, pigeons amongst and all that.
Absolutely, yeah. Turkey played better in the second half than they did in the first. They camped Russia inside their own half all the way through that second period of 20 minutes. Russia, as John Ball quite correctly said, got 2 early goals from their star man cutting in from the right-hand side on both occasions. And he looked really impressive. He actually matched not only his tally from 2015 personally, but matched Russia's tally from 2015 as well. The staggering stat that you may not be aware with at home if you are watching this live stream is that Russia got to the final. They only scored 2 goals in the process before that game against Turkey. However, they didn't concede a goal before that final, and it's that resolute defence that really secured them the win today. Bit of individual brilliance up front, but they managed to keep the ball out of the net for the first 39 minutes there, and that was crucial in getting them the 3 points.
Okay, well, let's take a look at some of the highlights of the second half, including, as Jono says there, resolute, not just defending, but the goalkeeper's had an absolute belter here. He's had to leave the scenes towards the end. Good little effort coming in there on 22 minutes. Goalkeeper in a collision towards the back end of the half, but Turkey created chances, and on another day might have had another hatful.
Absolutely could, and Russia's discipline certainly waned as the game went on as well. Had they conceded the 5th team penalty earlier on in the game, then we may have actually seen a penalty before the 40 minutes were out. This on the ball now is Saleh, a right-footed shot from him, cannoning him wide, and that one was on target. For me, Saleh, the number 11, he's their star man for Turkey. He didn't quite get the breaks that he was wanting today. He did get the 1 break towards the back end of the game, which resulted in the goal. But Okal here, wonderful footwork, and that's the sort of thing as he gets towards the byline there. He just couldn't connect his right foot towards the ball. They're the breaks that Turkey weren't getting, and I said in commentary, it just didn't appear to be Turkey's day. Now, one thing that made me laugh is when we had the Russian coach there barking out the instructions on the side. I had to sort of stand back for a moment and look at the scoreline again. You would not think Russia were winning by 2-0 with the ferocity that he was shouting at his team at. I think he knew at that point, you could see how perilous it was with the 4 crosses there underneath the scoreboard. This is the goal, and Pete has mentioned how it's just a long throw forward that Turkey do. It's the simple things that they do right. Eventually, they managed to get a strike from that. That time around it was a corner, but it was a carbon copy for the goal itself.
So again, more action for the goalkeeper. This is the collision that eventually causes him to leave the field of play. That could have been even nastier than it actually was. This is the goal. What a very, very quick piece of thinking from the keeper. Ball has virtually just crossed the line. Out it goes, up to Sate and into the roof of the net. And you just felt like the goalkeeper couldn't move across quick enough to get that. Sate celebrates. They went back and they had just under 60 seconds to try and get that equaliser, and as we said, if that decision for a free kick had gone another way. So here you see from the back end of the field, this is how the goalkeeper would have seen it. In it goes, and that is the goal that got Turkey back into the game, but they couldn't come up with another one. One more replay to take a look at.
Well, the old saying goes, Alan, it's the hope that kills you. And I think it did in the end for Turkey, because with 60 seconds to go, they may have actually thought we've lost this game. And then they got the brief glimpse of light with Sate hitting the ball into the back of the net. Great first touch, by the way, before he fired it into the top corner of the net, but it wasn't to be. We can talk about all day the potential penalty on the edge of the centre circle, but it wasn't given by the referee. John Ball will no doubt dust his players down and get them ready for the next game. It's a tough group, is Group B. They have Spain to come, and they also have Georgia as well, who they will definitely fancy themselves against. But a good start for Russia. That was their first game, unlike Turkey having their second there. They've got 3 points. Any questions about them being rusty Russia have certainly been dismissed.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Let's take a quick look at the group standings before we sign off from game number 3. So Russia's victory over Turkey means that they also have 3 points, like Spain, like Turkey, but now Turkey, having played their second game, will have to wait and see what happens in our final game. Belgium and Georgia, one of those could be joining those 3-point teams already, but for now we'll say goodbye for a few minutes, and we're back with you a little bit later on with Belgium versus Georgia. Kickoff is at 7:30. We'll be back on air at 7:10.